Welcome back to Beach Chair Chats. I'm Brian here, and I have a great guest today. Her name is Trish Woodman. How are you today, Trish?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's spring break for my day job, and I'm at work, so that's about as good as I'm going to be today. And in the spirit of beach chairs, I'd rather be there, but it's cold
It
here
is
in
very
New
cold.
England.
Yes.
So, how have you, are you handling the cold well? Are you sick of winter?
I'm sick of it. Yeah.
Sick
I
of winter?
literally could go to every ski slope and say, stop praying for it. Like, stop.
I know they
You-
need the business. It's kind of their
No,
deal, but
they've, they've had a good business. They've had
yeah.
a good run.
Yeah,
It's time.
figure out some summer stuff up there, would you?
Right.
So you are in New England, where you're up in New Hampshire, correct?
New
Yeah,
Hampshire,
New
yes.
Hampshire. What's life up there like in New Hampshire?
Um, Kind of like Connecticut's, like all over weather-wise, all over the place.
Yeah,
It's close to Maine, Boston,
yeah.
so
It's like the good
we
part.
yeah, we get to, it's a hop, skip, and a jump in
Hmm.
any state, really. Vermont is pretty easy too. So
It is.
Connecticut's a hike, but it's all around, you know what I mean?
Well, Connecticut's like the middle child, right, of New York and Boston. Boston, they get no one
Yes.
stays, no one goes to Connecticut. I mean, it's a joke since I've moved here. Either they go to Massachusetts or they're going to New York. No one's really going to Connecticut. And especially from the beach perspective, no one's going to Connecticut for the beaches
I
because
honestly never realized how beautiful your beaches were until you like posted like all your photos on your post. Like I didn't understand those beaches existed in Connecticut.
well, most of those are probably Rhode Island, but they are,
Oh, okay.
but there are good Connecticut beaches. I mean, it is beautiful. The shoreline, most of the pictures I take are like my not too far from my house, just around the backyard kind of thing. But most of them, but if I had to pick and choose the beach, why Rhode Island, softer, it's perfect. It's just nicer. Connecticut's kind of like shells and rocks. But
Yeah,
enough of that, because let's talk about the beach. You work in
okay.
corporate. So
I do.
if anybody who's listening for the first time, what would you tell them that you do on your day-to-day job?
So you want my elevator pitch.
Yeah,
And
elevator pitch would work.
my
Yeah.
elevator pitch would be like, I work for a company contract facility. I do their corporate travel, corporate trade shows. I co-share corporate events and philanthropic. I really love the company. I love what we
Mhm.
do, and I love who we do it for.
Well, that's also, you have to say that. It's that contractually obligated to say positive things about the company.
Yeah, but I honestly really do.
So what's a normal day like, in this job?
It you can't really set a normalcy to it because it changes at the drop of a dime. Um, I love like crossing off. I have a post-it note and I put down what I'm supposed to do every day, and I love crossing it off. There's so much satisfaction in that.
Mhm.
But then at the end of the day, I'm adding to another post-it note. So it's all about planning, but being able to stop, pivot, and pass, or go into a different direction when needed. So there's nothing really normal about
Oh,
it.
is any job ever normal? I
No,
think in
no.
whatever episodes, three, the law of subtraction, you keep adding things. That's
Yeah.
another shameless plug for the Wild Spaces episode. We talk about the law of subtraction or subtracting things from your life, and you're just adding more to your post-it notes. So,
It's crazy, but um it's old school, I know, but I there's to cross that list, that thing off, that
mhm.
task off, that it's completed is a joy for me.
Well, it is, I think sometimes people can't manage their day-to-day jobs, and the list is great. It could be the smallest things. It could be a
Yeah.
big thing. Like I gotta email so and so back. I gotta do this spreadsheet. I gotta run this report. I have to go make sure whatever it would be, just put it on the list. You cross it off. That way you just feel like I've accomplished something today. Because sometimes you get stuck, right? Have you ever had days you just like, I go to work, I'm just like,
Yes.
I'm stuck.
Hmm.
I,
Absolutely. I mean, who hasn't? You
yeah.
It's part of the territory, I guess.
Is it a case of the Mondays kind of thing? If I had to reference the old movie from, if you've ever
Yeah.
seen Office, was it Office Space? They have the case of the Mondays.
Yeah.
Um,
I
and
believe that is the show.
I know self-promotion, if it's not copyright, they find out I guess I'll deal with them. But yeah, in case of the Mondays, you go to work, you just like just don't have it today. How do you get through those? How do you manage to get through days like that?
Um, I try really hard to stay on task because it's important
Mm,
because each one of those line items has an end result and the end result needs to be a resolve. So, I just keep plugging through it. I think that's really all. I
yeah.
I like to keep a positive attitude. I'm always pretty happy and upbeat. Very rarely am I easily angered, and I try to always be politically correct,
Well,
given the corporate.
corporate and just the world
Yeah.
we live in, being politically correct and being positive. I think that's huge because most people need that, right? And it's kind of talk a little bit about your mindset. I know you mentioned your mindset and you talked about empowering others. How do you do that
So,
with even your coworkers or just people just outside of out of work?
out of work, probably the same way I empower people in work. People need a good support system because a lot of a lot of other people don't know how to really support people, if that makes any sense. Um, just knowing, hey, you want to do this, what does that look like? Asking the right questions
Hmm.
so that they get the right results in the end, and then just being there. Hey, reach out if you need something. I can help you with A, B, C, and D. If
Hmm.
you need that, I'm here for you. It's going to be a great event. A lot of positive,
Hmm.
you know, affirmations for them.
Yeah.
If you're upbeat, then they're upbeat. A smile can change somebody's day in an instant.
Hmm. Well, I think with the world, like I said, going back to the world we live in,
Yeah.
it's a lot of not smiling. I think there's people that just are
Yeah.
happy nowadays and without trying to go through all the scenarios it would cost you not to be happy. But having it just takes one little person, right? One person to say, just be happy, and it usually spreads, right? Kindness does spread a little bit. One small gesture, one thing can make a person's day, and then they might actually pay it forward, right? And
Right.
so,
Well,
yeah.
and the ability to show up, just
Mhm.
showing up for someone. Like, I don't know, my friend's dog just recently
Mhm.
passed, and she called me and she's like, I just had to put him down and the kids are crying, and I'm like, hey, I'm coming over. It was a
Yeah.
little bit late at night, and just showing up, that means everything in the world to so many people.
And it's I just read a book recently. It's the title of it. How does this make sense? But it's called Notes on Being a Man by Scott Galloway.
Oh,
But he
okay.
talked about friends and he talked about if you just know your people, you just know when they need you. They don't have to ask, right?
Right.
They may ask, but you're already there, right? And I think we just need more of that in society. Just showing up. You don't have to talk. You just have to be there, and that's maybe all they need, right? To listen and to just get through a difficult situation. You mentioned a dog. To people, animals are family to some people.
Oh, yeah.
And some people may take the loss of an animal sometimes harder than people. But it
Yeah.
is still a loss. It's still a part to grieve. So just showing up and being there, I'm sure, your friend was happy to have you there, and do that. Now let's talk about this. Even as a life lessons, you talk about this, but also as a mom, right? You're a parent,
hmm
you have your kids. How do you take these skills, how you go about life and take it to home with them?
I think everything is transferable. Here I learned in corporate, I learned to communicate, to follow up, be resourceful. And I think taking that home to my children, make sure I communicate with them,
Mhm.
right? They communicate back to me. Funny story, when my daughter, she's my middle child, was like first driving. I'm like, you need to text me when you go to Leah's house, and then you
Mhm.
need to text me when you get there. And she's
Mhm.
like, you're such a helicopter mom. And I'm like, I'm really not. I'm really not. And she goes, yeah, you are. You're just asking me for all these texts. And I'm like, I'm going to be the person on the TV that has a search grid and
Hmm.
we know where to find you because I know where you're going to Leah's. I know what time and I'm going to have all the dogs out. I'm not going to be the person that says, I don't know where my child is, so if I'm a helicopter mom for that, then that's fine. But
Well, there's
communication.
I think, well, that's funny because he talked about helicopter parents and I work in education. We've actually identified more types of parents. So it's not just a helicopter parent. There's multiple types of helicopters now. There's
Oh
the
no.
oh, there's an Apache. There's the Apache helicopter. Those are like ruthless. And they're coming in and they are under you're under attack, right? We have the search and rescue. We have Lifestar. We have this all
Oh
get
my gosh.
we also have snowplow parents and we also have lawnmower parents, right?
I,
Lawnmower
I'm in,
parent
yeah,
lawnmower parents are the ones who, if it's so hard for their kids, like, can you just make it a little bit easier for them? Just cut it down, right? That's a lawnmower parent. Like they'll email, it's like, hey, I know, but can you just give them a break? Can you help them out a little bit? I'm like,
oh no.
snowplow parents are even better because those are the ones whose kids are the most important person in the world, and they'll move heaven and earth just to make sure that their child is important that day. So it has
Yeah.
evolved. So helicopter is one. It has evolved. But the fun fact is, with kids today, now when you're a child, did you
Yes.
have all the stuff? We didn't have all the stuff when
No.
we didn't have GPS. We didn't have LifeStar, whatever, LifeLock 360. We didn't have none of that stuff.
I was
So,
out until like sundown and you could hear my mom scream for all of us to come home.
of course.
Like that's exactly,
Yeah.
how I knew it was time. Or the street light would go out and you're like, snap, I got to get home
Hmm.
because there's going to be heck to pay if I don't. So,
Yes. Well, I grew up in a small town and I grew up on a farm 7 miles away from civilization. And so I told someone this the other day that my parents would probably go to jail for letting me do this. But it was a 2-lane highway, no shoulders. And I was 7 miles away and I would ride my bike on this highway. What not safe. There's trucks flying by, there's car, no helmets, no pads. And I
mm,
just rode and I came home, right? If I needed to, they come pick me up. But now, if it's like you don't even let kids do that anymore, it's just so much
yeah.
protection. And I was reading another book called The Anxious Generation. Again, my goal in 2026 is to read more. And I think there's a lot of protections for kids.
Right.
It's not a parent's fault. This is how we've evolved. Is
Yes.
we have protections, but then in the online world, there is nothing to protect them. So that's a whole segue sidebar of
Yes.
another conversation about the scary stuff for kids
Because
and
that could be an
parents.
hour long,
That's a
that
whole
whole
hour.
thing. Yeah.
And I have the free version of Zoom for this, and that's only
Yes.
40. So, anyways, so your kids, does your daughter understand that, like the helicopter thing? Does she get it? Of
I believe she does. They probably won't get it until they have kids themselves.
course.
And right now, they're all grown out of the house in different parts of the United States, except for my oldest, who is here in New Hampshire. But until they have kids, which they don't, which I'm
Mm-hmm.
kind of glad that
Mm-hmm.
they don't,
Mm-hmm.
um, I don't think that they'll understand that
No,
aspect of it.
no. Until you get to take on the role of a parent, then you have no room to speak.
However, however, just now thinking about it, she has my GPS location.
Jeez,
Yeah,
she's tracking you
she's
now.
tracking me.
Did you even go
I'm
to
gonna
work
call,
today? Are you have
I'm calling her tonight and I'm
see?
saying,
It's like I
hey,
did go to the
stop,
office.
stop
Yeah.
being a helicopter daughter.
I know. She's just gonna use it for ammunition for future endeavors. It's like I
Yeah,
got enough evidence to state you were
right,
here on a Friday at 7 p.m. and your case is closed.
right.
So, but with fun with that, with kids and stuff, but also you talk about one of the things that's important to you. And even if you had to use for a child to say, "Hey, mom, would you have a little bit of faith in me?" Faith is important to you. Talk about how it
Mhm.
is part of your life.
Oh yeah, I was a kids minister for 5 years. And I enjoyed it. And it really was like, a friend of mine kept texting or I guess, posting on Facebook. Hey, join me at, it was called NLC. I'll be there with the kiddos. And she would post again, hey, come see me, da da da. And she was my friend, but we never really spoke about it. And so I'm like, girl, what is going on with this NLC? And who are your
Mhm.
little minions that
Yeah.
you have going? And then she's like, hey, you can come. I don't mind, you're more than welcome to come, but you have to serve in a room
Hmm.
with little kids. And I'm like, you
Hmm.
don't scare me, it doesn't scare me.
So they're different
So
now.
I did, and I loved it.
Mhm.
I loved it, and became a leader in a room. And then I became a kids minister of my own location. We set up in a movie theater. And to spin it where my kids get involved is they were old enough. My daughter was old enough to drive. My youngest son, not so, but I would put like a 20 on the counter,
Mhm.
set up alarm clocks in their room, and I'd be like, I need you to come to church because volunteers are so hard to find in kids' rooms. And they would be a volunteer with an adult, right? Because that was a standard. And I'm like, here's $20, get your Dunkin' Donuts, and I'll see you. And then,
Mhm.
all these alarms would be blasting. Um, but I never realized to the extent that the videos and working with those kids would plant the seeds in my children, um, that I did when my daughter called me and crying for the first time when she went to church. And she's like, I never understood, Mom, what you were talking about, but I went to church for the first time, and now I get it. And then my son, more recently, my son was like, yeah, these Mormons came over to my house, and they gave me a Mormon Bible, and I told him to come back Tuesday. And I said, why did you tell him to come back
Mhm.
Tuesday? And he's like, well, they came back. And I said, now let me tell you about my Bible. And I'm like, you read the Bible, son? Like, I had no clue. So seeds planted that,
Mhm.
definitely flourished into something that I had no clue at the time
Yeah.
would be beneficial.
Yeah, there was a time in my life too that I did like, Sunday school stuff, confirmation. And I
Yeah.
remember teaching seventh and eighth graders and they had no interest. And I remember too when I was in seventh and eighth grade, did I like no.
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm here, I have
Same.
to be here,
Yeah.
maturity level. I don't understand what the heck this all means. But
Right.
cool, I'm here because I have to be here. And I think when you go through any faith, it's not even about religion, it's about faith, right? Or
Correct.
spirituality. You could be, I always say religion. I grew up Lutheran, right? We're like Catholics hate us because I always joke that we ruined the business model for Catholicism. I mean, you got to pay to get out of hell. We just said no. The Bible's translated. It's just about just Jesus. Oh no, you got to pay the cow to get your mom out of purgatory. All right, I'm sorry, guys. So Catholics still don't like Lutherans to this day, but it's a practice of the same faith, and there's rules and
Right.
stuff. My mom was a secretary for a church for the longest time. I used to give her a hard time because as I got a little bit older, and I still value churches for the community aspect, right? And I used to
Yeah.
give her a hard time. It's like, hey, mom, because I'm the youngest, I'm the antagonist, and it's like, so the prayer that you wrote on a Wednesday does it have the same meaning on Sunday
Oh no, you did not
that
say.
you wrote the several days later that I have to read? She goes, stop it. Because my mom is German and she valued her work. And that's what I did to drive her crazy. But it is important for community too, even about, good values and still for kids, and doing the things that kind of help move them in a positive direction, even having
Oh,
a
absolutely.
Mormon family come over, right? When
Yeah.
you said that, I just thought of the musical Book of Mormon, which is,
I have, I, I, my daughter played it for me. She lives in Utah, so
mhm.
they're like planted there,
Oh
like
yeah,
everywhere. And she played me the musical, and I'm just like, what?
like
Like,
hello,
really? Oh my
my name
goodness.
is my name is so. We like to tell you the story of,
I'm
anyways.
surprised you
Hey,
memorized that. That's
musical
impressive.
theater is my thing. I love musicals. I did three actually with my church back in the day. I always said I didn't have the money to give a massive offering. That was for the really wealthy people. And it's like, here's a big check. And it's like, I can just donate my time. So we did 3 theater productions. Again, Midwestern churches, they're
Hmm.
large, right? It's not like New England churches, little white steeples and are perfect, like a little, you know. And so we turned the entire sanctuary into a stage, and
Oh,
we had a full set, full lighting, 3-hour practices. We did Fiddler on a Roof was one of
oh,
them. Joseph,
that's
an Amazing Color Dreamcoat, and Music Man. And so
oh,
people,
Music
people,
Man's great.
people in the church sometimes like, why do you do this? This is not right. I'm like, but we're raising money for charity. What's your
Right.
problem? Okay.
Yeah.
The best one was when our pastor in Fiddler on a Roof showed up as a cameo. And the bar scene where we're all singing like drunk Jewish people, and he sat in the back dressed up in costume. He never showed his face, but he was just in the back like he was passed out in the thing. It was funny. It was very different. We had a lot of fun. So
It sounds like it was a lot of
it
fun.
was good. Again, a previous life of mine. But so outside of work, outside of parenting, things when you're not working, how do you recharge? How do you take care of yourself? Besides going to the beach, which is the best place to go. But
It
in New
is.
Hampshire, depending on where you're at, if it's the
Yeah.
southeastern part, like Portsmouth, that part, but what do you do to recharge?
Um, I guess it depends on the mood. Like I love music, dancing, all of that. I have a lot of friends. Um, I stay busy, and I think the busyness recharges me.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little weird. I'm a little weird, so
Oh, that's weird. We're all human. We do things the way we are.
that's right.
So
So that's pretty much it. I that's really it. Music is a joy of mine. It gets me out of bad moods. It's always playing, and I it's always playing in my head. So
you have the soundtrack of life going right
I
now.
do.
What's the song you're playing right now in the middle of this
I
podcast?
actually there is no song right
There's no
now.
song right now? Let's see.
No, I'm
Okay.
so sorry.
That's okay. I need a soundtrack for these things.
Oh,
I
what
I will
is what is your walk up theme music? Like if
huh.
you were to walk in a room.
Walk up.
Yeah,
That's a
like
that's
if
a
you were
good
walking in a room, what would be your theme music?
that's a very good question. Um I don't know. I was listening to some great music on a run the other day that got me motivated to push it. I'm not quite sure what it would be. That's a good question. What would yours be? Like you
You
walk
know,
with
I
music.
asked that question and as I was asking, and I'm like, I know he's going to turn that around on me,
That's what
and
I do. It's my
I,
show.
I know, and
I can turn it.
I have no answer as
That's
well. It
okay.
just
It'll
came in my head. So
it'll
we're
it'll
both
show up at like 2 o'clock in the morning. It's like that's the song. I'll play it on the way home. It's like that
it's
is my totally my
exactly
song. It depends on the mood, I guess. If music
right.
is for me, music is all dependent on mood. I always think of funny
Mhm.
stories. Again, I was the youngest child, so I was the angsty one, right? I would cause my mom problems. And she was full German. She wasn't part, she was full. And a full German mother is hard to deal with. And I always tell the story about my bedroom was below my parents' room.
Mhm.
And there was a stage in the 90s, teenage guy music or grunge
Yes.
rock.
Yep.
All right. I would play it. It would reverberate loud enough through a non-insulated floor that my mother would stomp on the floor loud enough. I was listening to things like Pearl Jam, Stone Temple Pilots, great grunge rock
Great.
music, good
Yeah,
stuff,
it's
right?
great. Yeah.
And she would say, "Turn off your devil music." Pearl Jam is not devil music. Okay, it's not. Some other bands might be based on,
Right.
but just no. So one day I turned it up and I went upstairs and I sat in the hallway and I watched as she proceeded to stomp on said floor. And being the youngest mischievous kid, it's like, hey, mom, you should probably stop a bit louder. I don't think I can hear it. Full German, boom, I got the
Um,
hand.
yeah.
So
I was gonna say,
what's the music playlist for you right now? What's the vibe right now for you? Not
I
your not your walk-up music, not that, but like
not my
what's
water.
yeah.
I honestly enjoy a lot of Christian artists,
Mhm.
but I like all musics. Like I like the '80s, the
Mhm.
'90s, like. every music in between. It's just all good. It's good for the soul. The
Mhm.
words, I listen to the words like rap music, some of the rap, I'm just like, I wish I could get paid $1 million to say the same F word over and over
Pretty
again.
much.
Um, and
Yeah.
pilot that out and get paid big
Yep.
bucks.
Pretty much.
But
Maybe I should just
it's
use the same F word on this show. Let's say it and censor it and put it. Maybe I'll get paid.
yeah,
Just people
a
like to hear the
lot,
word
a
fuck.
lot of
Yeah.
a lot of money in that.
Yes.
But
Well, yeah.
go ahead.
Well, the music today, again, this is gonna sound like the old timer. It's not the same.
Yeah.
It really isn't. I watch the Grammys and I get sad because they take artists and combine them. Like, cool. Like, a couple of
Huh.
years ago, it was Metallica and Lady Gaga, both phenomenal band, phenomenal
Right.
artists.
Right.
Didn't make sense. It's just they're trying to create nostalgia, but also make it fun and hip. It's just I don't know. It's not the same. Not the same.
It really has lost it. Music back in the day meant something. It had meaning
Hmm.
behind it, and now it's just what can I write fast enough? And
Hmm.
because they're so, like for instance, the Super Bowl, was it Big Bunny, Bad Bunny?
Bad Bunny.
I've never heard of him before, but I'm
Hmm.
just like, okay, flip. I'm just like, I don't know what you're saying, and I don't know who you are, but it means nothing to me. And I don't know even if I spoke Spanish, if it
Hmm.
would mean anything to me.
I
I'm
think I
not
think
sure.
that I think the performance there was a message in it that was positive at the end.
I,
Versus there's the alternative show that was on that I was actually was recorded. It wasn't even live, and so but but it's a cultural thing for people and they relate to artists. And like like my father listened to polka music. I'm like, no, I'm not listening to polka music. The squeeze box is not my
you're not gonna
thing.
you're not gonna listen to polka music.
No, country artists nowadays like called hillbilly pop or like George Strait and things like that. It's evolved. It's part of our fabric,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But quick question, if you're sitting on the beach right now, what
Hmm.
would be the tune of the beach right now if you're sitting on the beach?
I'm sitting on the beach. What would be the tune? It would depend on the company.
Hmm.
So, and again, the vibe, like it's all um up for interpretation,
Yeah.
really. But that's why we have playlists, so we can just zip over to the right one and
Hmm.
hit play.
Basically create your own playlist. It's like you actually don't even own music
Right.
anymore. You just download Spotify, which is
You're
airing on a
right.
Spotify, which is a shameless plug for no sponsorship at all for this. But
What would be yours?
I get it. In the summer, it's weirdly country.
Yeah.
It's like summer country. It's like you're getting Kenny Chesney. You're drinking about. I'm sitting on the beach. I'm
Yeah.
drinking a beer. Sunshine. It's Margaritaville. It's
Right.
that, right? It's not some deep, meaningful thing. It's just laid back. It's relaxed. I don't need to focus on the song because it's all got the same message, anyways. Most country artists about the same in the summer.
Mhm.
So there's really not a whole lot of change. So that's what it'd be, but it ranges too. So it's just something laid back, light, not going to offend other people that are around me that are like, oh, I
Oh.
forgot that's on my playlist. I forgot this is my 1,000 likes. I forgot that song was one of them. Sorry, that was inappropriate, people. Um, well, Trish, it's been wonderful having you on the Beach Chair Chats today, taking a break from the corporate world to talk about this
Mhm.
fun things in life. So I
Right.
appreciate having you on today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.